Okay, Herb, here's your final. You did well with this course. You put a good effort through here. I'm glad to see that. You should have no problems continuing with this career. Hope to see you in other future classes as well. Um, I'm just coming back into teaching online for the school again. I was away for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, because of some autoimmune that I was hit with, and finally getting back into working again. But good to see the work that you put out here. As I said before, if I was editor again, I would have no problem using your images for an assignment that I would send you on. So this image, again, I really don't see anything I would do with it. If there was anything at all, maybe just a little more brightness in this area. And you can see I just did that little bit going from here to here, and it just kind of opened it up. Looking at this one and then looking at that one. Okay, just open that one tiny little area. But otherwise, nothing bad about that image whatsoever. This one, as I said before, same thing here. Just opening these little bits of the facial area, especially in here. It looks like you have a little bit of reflector inside there. So just very quickly doing this. You've got to take your time when you're doing it. But you can see by opening these facial areas up, it does bring more attention to them in the image. So it does work, but just a little bit more open there. Same thing here, maybe one or two little shots right there, and looking here, and then looking there. And the same thing with him back here. His hat, don't forget. Anywhere you're lightning, make sure you're watching your shadows. But this is one of my favorite images. Again, here's going here, and then we can look at it over here. And it just kind of gives a little more detail to the facial area. Again, here, if I wanted to, maybe just a little bit more opened up, as we see. I'm just doing it again. I'm doing this very quickly. And we went from here down to here. And it does kind of open that up in there. Still in the shadow, but still opens it up. Another good image. Like I said, I like the juxtaposition of the name to her. Worked well. Series works well. This one, I don't know if you put the wrong image in here, but the last image you had with the other series was brighter than this one. And I'm going to bring this back up. I don't want to lose too much detail in the floor over here, so I'm going to open up my midtones here. I'll bring back a little contrast. But now the image kind of pops. I think you switched this out because the image that you sent in the last one that was corrected was brighter than this one. There's your original image here, and then here's the image corrected, and my screen is all the way up. So I think you misplaced the image that you were going to put in here with the old one that needed the correction in the beginning. So we look at it here, and it's a lot better. So always make sure your images, when you're putting them in, if you have to label them differently, I would go like, I don't know if you want to call this M6T1A, that one, and then you could do a B. That way you know you're doing your corrections from A to B. B will be the corrected image. A is your original image. Or you can go O and C, original and corrected. Okay, so it's another way of doing it. I just want to see what happens here. Again, I'm looking at this one, and let me see what happens if I just brighten it up just a little bit. I don't want to go overboard on that. But we can open up some of the areas here, and a little bit of the midtones. I don't want to go too far. But now we look at this, and then we look at that, and it does add to the image, having her just opened up a little bit more. Okay? Again, one of my favorite images. I'm not even touching it. I explain this over and over. One of my favorites. Good image. Good to see that. And then this one here, like I said on the last series, I'll probably open this up down here in that shadow area a little bit. There we go, and her hat as well, just a little bit. There we go. So we're looking here, and then we look here. And I remember saying this on the last critique, that I would open that up, and it does look better opened up here. It's still in the shadow. You still see her working, but it gives you a little more detail to look in here now. You can see a lot in there. So I would really work on those areas. You did very well. Good to see the work that you've submitted. So let's see what you got for the rest, and you're set all the way.